Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Resalest Educational Center, High School Graduation, Manila, Philippines, 1994. Now, the fourth year class during the 1993-1994 school year at Resalest was one of my favorites of all time. They were such a wonderful group of kids and fine young people. And as their English teacher that year, I had them read War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, which is more than 1,000 pages. I never did that again. And they were so agreeable, and we got through the book. Unbelievable. Yeah, they were so pleasant, and there was a real nice spirit of cooperation. And I was a pretty strict teacher at the time. At that time, before I got tired of being strict. They put up with it, and we finished that book. I felt bad in the fourth quarter. We about halfway through, we finished it, and then we read Alice in Wonderland. And I remember one day I lost my temper with them, and I said, "Oh, don't stumble when before you reach the finish line," and because they were near graduation, and I felt bad. I thought they didn't deserve that. Such a really nice group of kids, and good spirit. There was a real good spirit. I'm sure they're human. There were problems, but it seemed like they had a real nice spirit, and they worked hard in my classes, and I thought they were good people. Now let's just go through them one at a time before we get to the video that we took. Elaine Venus was she had been a tutorial student at Resalest previously, and I'd been her English tutor. I'd given her books to read, different classic novels to read, and she'd read them without any hesitation. Good person, Elaine Venus, hardworking, very patient, and had a good attitude, a good spirit, and good person. I think she was again hardworking person, and she I think everybody liked Elaine. Real nice, fine young lady. Raphael de Mesa, we called him Raffy. Remember, he lived nearby. I think he lived over in Rolling Hills Park, and in Yakimatute, I used to call him Tuesday, Thursday de Mesa, or P.E. de Mesa. He would come to P.E. only twice a week. Tuesday, he felt that was enough. Tuesday and Thursday. So I started calling him that, P.E. de Mesa, or Tuesday, Thursday de Mesa, and Yakimatute picked up on that. Raffy was a real nice young man, and good spirit. And I remember he came back sometime after graduation, and the security guard wouldn't let him in. It was kind of exerting his authority, where they put up these signs, no ID, no entry, and he was technically no longer a student. And he was upset because he said, Resalest was his alma mater, and he wanted to come to the classroom and see his desk, and he wanted to come back to his old former school, which was still important to him. Anyway, I liked Raffy. He was a nice fella, and he would smile, and he had a good attitude. Nice guy. In Yakimatute, his real name I believe was Ignacio, but he was known as Iñaki, and he was very mature. I was good friends with Iñaki because when you're a teacher, the students often look at the teacher as just an authority figure, someone to please. But with Iñaki, I felt like he looked at me, as a human being. So we would talk, man to man. And I remember during the Intramuros field trip, I was kind of stressed out with the responsibility I had for all these kids, and trying to keep them together. And he was trying to calm me down to take it easy and enjoy our time at Intramuros. And he was patient going through it, War and Peace. I remember that was quite an ordeal, quite a project, and the books were so thick, and they were paperbacks. So he took to, I guess as a morale booster, he tore off the part that we had already read, and to make it a little bit lighter in terms of lugging around the book. And he'd had some conflict, I think the year before, with Miss Teresita Garcia, and his parents came in, and of course Teresita was rather a difficult woman, and his mom said, she liked the school because she said, well, Iñaki was actually reading a book. think it was To Kill a Mockingbird when he was in third year. Anyway, yeah, I liked Iñaki a lot. Good guy. And I remember in economics class, this was the early years of the cell phone, and it seemed like I had the students giving current events reports on things in the economy or in business, and every time he was doing something giving a report on cell phones, and I finally said, "All right, Iñaki, no more cell phone reports," which I think I was wrong to do that, but I was tired of hearing about it. But that was the beginning of that age of cell phones. And anyway, Iñaki Matute, real good guy. Really enjoyed having him at the school. His brother Miggy Matute, yeah, good guy. Miggy was, at the time was big into music, and he pursued a very successful career in music. Wonderful, good for him. And I remember, again, he was also we kind of had an adult relationship in terms of man to man, and he was trying to encourage me to get into music. And I said, okay. So he lent me some cassette tapes that I listened to, and I ended up, in large part because of Miggy, singing at some of these events, especially I think Buffalo Soldier. When I was in college, I enjoyed Bob Marley, and anyway, with this tape that he lent me, I wrote out the lyrics, listening to it, and I sang that. And another one was Jim Morrison of the Doors, "Come On Baby, Light My Fire." Anyway, I enjoyed Miggy's company, and yeah, he had a good spirit. Fine young man, and really nice guy, and I'm so happy for his success in music. Good guy, Miggy Matute. Marvin Rilio. Now, Marvin's family was in politics, and I see he's pursued that. I think his older brother was in politics, and Marvin got into, I think, Quezon City Council, and so he pursued that. Yeah, Marvin had a big smile, and he was very personable, and hardworking guy, and very patient, easy to be with, and pleasant personality. People liked Marvin, and that's important in politics. But real good fella, real fine young man, Marvin Rilio, who's done very well in politics in the Philippines. Todd Santos, I was very close with Todd. He had grown up in the United States, so he was really American, a Philippine background. His parents sent him back to the Philippines for school, in high school. I don't know if he'd been getting into trouble in the U.S. in California. Anyway, Todd and I, we were kindred spirits because he was an American. I was kind of lonely for Americans, and so we would talk, one American to another. And I actually I gave him a special project. I don't know, the other kids didn't complain, but instead of reading War and Peace, he read the novel by Richard Wright, The Outsider, and he would just talk to me about it. And I kind of wanted, for some reason, somebody to read that book and talk to about it. And he said, oh, sure. So he did, and I enjoyed that. Anyway, Todd was a nice fella. Been trying to find him on Facebook, and I think he was having his struggles in being, culture shock being in the Philippines after really growing up in California. Fine young man. Todd Santos. Ryan Soriano. Ryan was a funny guy. Really liked Ryan. He would smile a lot. Of course, Filipinos are a smiley people. Ryan had a real nice spirit, and he had smart guy, real smart guy, and he had goodwill. He had he was a good person, and you could tell that he meant well for other people, and he was patient, and I think people we enjoyed him. I thought he was kind of a funny guy because he had a sense of humor, which that appeals to me. I'm kind of the same way. I like to joke around, and at that time I was pretty serious as a teacher. That wasn't expressing itself. Ryan Soriano, fine young man. Gina Choi. Oh, I really loved having Gina in the school. She was mature, and she was such a joyful person. Yeah, very joyful, and real nice spirit. And she got into this pilates. It's like a physical activity, some type of for one's health. She was friends with Iñaki and Miggy, and I think she had studied at international school, and she was smart, real smart and hardworking, and and she seemed to enjoy Resalest. I mean, that's kind of a big change coming from the international school. But yeah, she was popular. She was friendly, with everybody, and I think people really enjoyed her company. Gina Choi, and like I said, she was very joyful, and well, of course, we all have sadness in our lives, and she has a fine family of her own now. I think with two children. Wonderful young lady, Gina Choi. Abby Hernandez. Now, Abby, I think, won the Christian Life Education Award from Miss Petite Teresita Garcia. Abby was a pleasant person, very, she was nice, and I think, yeah, people liked her, and kind of soft-spoken, peaceful, very peaceful and kind, or maybe I got that wrong. Was it Abby that won that award? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, no, yeah, I think it was Rachel Menalilli. Anyway, Abby Hernandez she was pretty mature. Her younger brother, Pee Wee, studied at the school as well, and she would smile a lot, and very pleasant young lady, and very, very kind and peaceful and easygoing. Tina Katigbak. Tina was smart and hardworking, and she, in these classes that I taught, often the work I think was too hard for the students. She could answer pretty much every quote, that I would have from these literature that the kids were reading, classic novels. And although after a while, I mean, she had to. It's tough on these. She was very smart and very patient, very respectful, good person. She was pretty shy and quiet. It was kind of hard on her. She could, recite all the time, but, of course, I think she wanted to keep a low profile because she was sort of, more on the shy person, easygoing, very pleasant young lady, and I wish her well. I don't think I've been able to find her on Facebook. Very smart, very hardworking, very good person. Rachel Menalilli, I think she was the one who won that award as the top Christian Life Education student of Miss Petite Teresita Garcia. And in the video, you can see her getting the award. A little bit awkward, but anyway, Rachel was, she was pleasant and peaceful, kind lady, and soft-spoken. And I believe, the other kids liked her a lot. She had a lot of friends, so she was really a good person. Rachel Menalilli. Her younger sister, Brendan, also was studying at Resalest. Socorro Reguero. I think they call her Cock. I didn't know that at the time. Socorro was she was kind of quiet and very kind and peaceful and hardworking. Yeah, and she was, she kept a low profile. Like, it's tough being in school. Some of the other kids can be difficult. So she was, sort of taking it all in. She worked hard, and you could tell she was a very good person, and she had this kindness in her, and she was very patient, and she was just trying to get through school, get through her young days. Certainly, it's been nice to connect with her on Facebook. She's really a fine person. Kitty Reyes. Now, Kitty was one of the kindest people I've ever met, kind and sweet, and we used to call her a lover of love. And her family was somehow connected with Ferdinand Marcos or Imelda Marcos, not sure how, through either the Ilocos region or down in Leyte, or I'm not sure how. But anyway, she was a Marcos loyalist. 1994, this was 8 years after the EDSA Revolution, which had ousted Ferdinand Marcos, the former president and dictator. And, of course, by this time, there was a lot of disappointment, I guess you could say, with the EDSA Revolution, which ousted the Marcoses. But anyway, I think people, they're still, anti-Marcos in general. But not Kitty, because, she was her family, she was loyal, and she took some kidding from the other students about that. But, that loyalty is an important quality, so you have to give her credit for that. She was hardworking and, very kind and peaceful. And I think she has a lot of friends. Everybody loves Kitty because she's a good person and good friend and very, very kind. And so, it was wonderful having her at Resalest. I think she was there for... maybe 4 years. I know when I came, she was second year. So she was really a good person to have around because she was such a positive influence. And finally, last but not least, Kim Teodoro. I really like Kim. She had a real her spirit. You know, she liked to joke around. I remember her joking with Iñaki. So she had this sort of vibrant and very lively. And I remember this was the early days of getting tattoos, and I believe she was going to get one on her wrist and cover it with her watch so her parents wouldn't know. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed having Kim in the school, and she was people liked her. She was very outgoing, very personable, really a nice person, and very patient, a good student, hardworking, and a good friend for all of her friends and classmates. So that's the entire class from 1994, and in this video you see the kids in their white gowns and their caps, and then they're outside, right outside they're in the courtyard, and then they come in and then get their diplomas, and they each of them speak to the audience there. And now the movie, folks.
Joy, please come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Resalest and Ms. Putin. They both helped all of us through hardship this year, and they gave us all helpful advice. Second, I would like to thank Mr. Ray, Miss Annie, Miss Maggie, and Miss Gemma. I admire all of them for their incredible patience and incredible kindness. Last, I would like to wish the fourth year a happy graduation and say, I'm really proud of all of you. You worked hard for it, and you all know.
Very good. Rafael Teresa.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank God for giving me wonderful blessings. And I want to thank my parents for supporting me this year. And I want to thank Resalest for accepting me this year and praying for them to go and graduate this year. And also my classmates for supporting me.
Christina Caliba.
Almighty God for answering my prayers and making this day possible. I would like to thank my parents for their love, support, and sacrifices. I would like to thank the teachers for their guidance and their patience going through the class. And I would like to thank my classmates for making the whole school year worthwhile.
That's nice. Rachel Malati.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, friends, and the graduates of 1994. First of all, I would like to thank God for helping me and keeping me in good terms with all the teachers this year. Next, I would like to thank all the teachers for helping me throughout the years and for doing everything they can to stay in good education.
Juan Ignacio Benítez.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Mary for having that little lamp and all the little things that God put in this world for us. I cannot deny the support my parents have given me throughout my high school life because I've been here too long. And I would really like to thank the school for letting me graduate this year. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Juan Miguel Matute.
Good afternoon. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my friends and family for helping me throughout my years of school, for without them it would have been impossible for me to reach this very joyous day of achievement. Though I have not been in this school all that long, I am proud to say that Resalest has taught me. They've taught me how to deal with all kinds of situations, and aside from that, education taught me. So in conclusion, thank you very much to one and all, especially Mr. Peter, who has been more than a teacher to me, but also a Buffalo soldier. Thank you
Have a nice day too. Abigail Hernandez.
Good afternoon to everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God who's been there guiding me. My parents, who's been very supportive and patient throughout these years. To all my teachers, who's been patient teaching us, and to all my classmates, thank you.
Samara Reguero.
I graduated.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank God, my parents, teachers, classmates for all the support.
That's it. Alexandra Reyes.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, classmates, and friends. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Alice and Ms. Patit and other teachers for 4 memorable years. It's been a pleasure studying here in Resalest. Resalest helped me to develop self-confidence, discipline, and a higher level of maturity. And I'd also like to thank my parents, especially my mom, who's always there for me. Even though I give her so many sleepless nights, I know that in spite of it all, she gives me all her trust, love, and understanding. I can assure you that even though I've been doing something that you don't like, I just want you to know that I'm still your trustworthy, thoughtful, and loving daughter. Thank you.
Thank you for your loving speech. Martin Rilio.
Check it out, man. I graduated.
Good afternoon, all. First of all, I would like to thank God, my parents, my teachers, Mr. and Miss Ray, Miss Patit, my fellow classmates, and most especially the school for supporting me throughout the school. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Arthur Santos.
Good afternoon to everyone here. First, I would like to thank God for leading me throughout my hardships through the school years. Next, I would like to thank the teachers for being patient with us and for taking time to teach me and giving me their knowledge. And last, I'd like to give thanks to my parents who supported me through the years. Thank you.
Joseph Zuriano.
No, man. Don't you feel proud, man? I feel like I'm really. It's okay,
Denise Kim Theodoro.
Good afternoon, parents, teachers, and fellow classmates. As I bid farewell to high school life, allow me to thank the Lord for His unending blessings and graces. My mom for all the understanding and love, Miss Pin, Miss Alice, and the rest of the faculty for all the selfish support and guidance, and of course my classmates for making the year meaningful through the terms of companionship and friendship. As we go through our graduation rites, I look forward to better years ahead. Let us keep the spirit in us burning as we go in our college life. May we have all the strength, discipline, and determination to pursue in a college. I extend my thanks to Resalest for not just playing the role of an educational institution, but somehow managed to be a home away from home. Thank you.
Elaine Venus.
First of all, I would like to thank God Almighty for all His blessings. And second, I would like to thank my mom and my family for all the support they gave. I want to thank Resalest for bringing me in, for accepting me, even though I'm too old. I would like to thank all my classmates and my friends for all the support they gave.
You know when it comes to education today. The next number of our program will be an awarding of prizes for those who receive an outstanding award. For special living education, it goes to Denise Kim Theodoro.
All of you are awardees. You are all my favorites. But it's a virtue to be just. And it's just fair to acknowledge the person who worked so hard and got the highest grade in Christian life education. CLE is a lifetime subject, but always remember this 4th year, you are all my favorites. Okay? The reason why I chose Denise number 1, because she got the highest grade. And it's too obvious for her that she's maybe call the father or
Sir Santos, please come forward.
Right, Todd.
You made it, man.
Congratulations.
Many nights I sit by my window, waiting for someone sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark, but now you've come along, and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. Rolling at sea, adrift on the waters, could it be finally I'm turning for home? Find me a chance to say, hey, I love you. Never again to be all alone. And you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. You light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. It can't be wrong when it feels so right. 'Cause you light up
Miss, you light up my life.
Okay, that's it. You are going to get your diplomas on Monday because we're going to put a special order for the decks. So if you don't mind, you are going to collect them again. Again, congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes today's presentation. To the graduates of Resalest from 1994, Miss Allison, I wish you well. It was such a wonderful blessing for us to have such fine young people in our lives, at that time. So we really were. It was a real blessing, and because you were all just wonderful people, and again, I think I was probably too strict. God bless you all in your personal lives and otherwise in your careers and your family life, and especially during this very tough time that everybody's going through with the coronavirus pandemic. So God bless you. We wish you all the best, and always happy to hear about your lives and communicate with you. So because we still are rooting for you in the battle of life. So anyway, dear viewer. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History, with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we have made 639 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate button. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Resalest Educational Center. Resalest is located in Barangay Maytunas, San Juan, Metro Manila, Philippines. At Resalest, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. And the website is resalest.education. Resalest. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.